Fat Fried. Nope, DP, which they were members of, DP. 3 of the Drunken Peasants members left, formed Deep Fat Fried. If you know me, if you watch my content, you know this, probably. So anyway, members from a podcast, DP, left and joined Deep Fat Fried. And they didn't just take themselves with them, they took the concept of having a meetup, where they go to a bar or club and they have a show. They tell stories, they get drunk, they get high, maybe there's a game show. It's pretty fun. Problem is, they're having it in New Orleans. Now, for them, this is really easy. They live like 40 minutes, an hour from New Orleans. Not bad for them. They can just drive the car there, park at the Howlin' Wolf in New Orleans. And of course, they have to pay money to have the show. They can't just have a show for free, right? They're booking a spot. They probably have to pay for it or have the cover charge pay for it. So, yeah, they only live like an hour away. So they're not traveling at all. They don't have to deal with hotel expenses or anything. They might get a hotel for the night just so they don't have to drive back if they're high or drunk or whatever. But realistically, their costs are not that high. What is high is everyone else's cost. I live in the Northeast, New York City area. It would take me a $200+ plane ticket just to get down there. And then I have to find a hotel for one night or even maybe 2 nights. $100 for a decent, non-rundown, creepy hotel. Maybe $70-80 if I can get a deal. Right? Maybe I have to get an Uber to the place, or I can walk there. I don't know. Maybe I have to get an Uber from the airport. I'm not sure. That costs money. And on top of that, I believe the entrance fee for regular people is $20 or $25, which is pretty pricey to get into just a basic bar, club, whatever. But if you want to get there like an hour early and hang out with the Deep Fat Fried crew, it's $60 or $65. Yeah, it's expensive. And of course, you say the gimmick is free drinks. But how many drinks can you really drink in an hour? Especially before the show starts. You don't want to be trashed before the show starts. It just ruins everything. You're not going to remember any of it. But whatever. Point is, it's really expensive. And it's kind of a shame knowing that most of their fans probably don't live in the South, right? But they're known atheists. They're non-religious. They're pretty liberal. I don't think there are a lot of Southern people who are gung-ho about Deep Fat Fried. There's probably a few members, but I'm guessing most of the Deep Fat Fried fans live on the East Coast, live on the West Coast, or mixed, maybe in Texas or something, right? I don't think there are that many people in the Louisiana area. So most people who go to the meetup have to fly and deal with all those expenses and hotel expenses and everything. And to me, it's kind of not insulting, but it's kind of like a big F you to the fans. Like, you guys are making tons of money now. You have close to 5,000 patrons a month. And the bare minimum is like $5, okay, to get the basis content. So if everyone patron is paying $5 and you have 5,000 patrons, that's $25,000 a month. That's a lot of money. You could easily afford to travel across the country. With the amount of money you're making on your Patreon page, you could afford to travel to the East Coast, to the West Coast, maybe Texas somewhere, maybe Florida. I don't know. Somewhere where there are more fans. What you should do is take a survey and say, where do all these fans live? Where do you live? Where's the area with the most fans nearby? And have a meetup there. But instead, you got lazy and said, we're just going to go to New Orleans because we're right there. We don't have to spend any money. So you expect me to pay $200 plus for a plane ticket, $100 or so for a hotel, more money for an Uber, and if I got to park my car at the airport or whatever. So let's say $350 or so. Then I got a cover charge, which is like $20 as a base or $25. Right? So that's another close to $400 there. And that's not even any drinks. That's not even, I order a couple beers and it's probably expensive. Oh, $8 for a Bud Light or something. It's a nightclub in New Orleans. It's going to be expensive. So if I want to get food or anything else, I'm looking at $400 to $500 Most of the reasons you find when people say, oh, I can't make it, it's because it's too expensive. The number one reason I've been hearing is, oh, I don't have the money for that. Maybe there'll be a ton of people who will go to the New Orleans meetup. Maybe there's a ton of people who live in the area. I could be wrong. But for me, it's just too expensive. It's just too much commitment. Just for a couple hours, having a few overpriced beers, watching Paul, TJ, and Scotty goof around for a couple hours. It's not worth it.